So we finally have some Ark 2 news. It wasn't delivered to us in the way that we maybe thought it was going to, but it actually, there's a lot more here than I thought we were ever going to get. And we're going to also take a look at my reaction to the trailer that was at the Xbox showcase. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so there's a fair bit to unpack in this video and just all this Ark 2 news. It's actually a lot more information than I was preparing for. I was actually just preparing for maybe a little bit of news in the video at the Xbox showcase. It was kind of the opposite. The Xbox showcase video, or the Xbox showcase on Ark 2, was abysmal. It was fucking nothing. It was actually a massive disappointment to me in the moment. And then I later realized that there was also a gigantic info dump that came along with that, which was amazing because now we have all this new information. So what I first want to do is just to address that the game has been delayed by a year or more. I'm thinking that it's probably going to be the fall of 2023 is when the game is actually going to come out. It sucks. I think it does because in 2022, there really hasn't been any kind of great games for me. Like it's been a really mediocre game year for me, and I just started this YouTube channel, which is perfect. But like, as long as they use the delay to do the right things, I don't think anyone's going to mind. It is a letdown because up until now it was coming out this year, but it is what it is. I think as long as like I'm all for developers treating their employees a little bit better. So if it takes a delay to make that happen, then so be it. I hope that it's worth it. So now that we know that there is a delay that's happening, and you're going to see that in my reaction too. And I also take in mind, I didn't know that we had this info dump at the time. I thought this was like the end of the news. So let's just roll that real quick.
And died.
No, it's Ark.
All that I know from their Earth are the creatures they sent along with us. And here on Arat, every day is a fight to survive.
Come on, let's go. It's Vin Diesel, baby. Riddick. He's in the dinosaur game now. Let's go! 2023 on Game Pass. That's it. That's all we fucking get. Oh my god, dude. Okay, I mean, I was really hoping for a lot more than that. And all we got was like a 30-second fucking jerk-off clip for Ark 2. No, nothing. I mean, it got me hyped. It's awesome, but they had to give us more than that, man. Fuck. It's been 2 years. So yeah, my reaction to it, you can see I was pretty let down by it all, but I also didn't know a lot of the stuff that we know now, that was a whole info dump. And I just thought that was pretty much the video, and that was all the information that we were going to be getting for the foreseeable future. So I think I was justifiably upset about it. So let's actually dive into the meat and potatoes of this info dump. So this is on survivetheark.com in the community forums, redefining the survival genre with Ark 2 and an update from our studio founders. Okay, let's get into it. We are currently working on our expansive sequel with all of our might, but we have postponed the release date to 2023 in order to create an adventure that will be unforgettable for everyone. Respectful of our team's health, realize the potential of upgrading to Unreal Engine 5, and to introduce revolutionary full mod support for console players. Ark 2 will launch in 2023 simultaneously on Steam Early Access, as well as console launch exclusive for Xbox Series X, S, and with Xbox and PC Game Pass on Game Preview. We believe that Ark 2 will be the ultimate primal survival experience and want to develop the resources needed to bring that to fruition. When you finally take your first steps onto the beautiful, dangerous new world of Arat in 2023, we intend that it'll have been worth the time to get there. Starring Vin Diesel as legendary Ark hero Santiago, experience an epic, spanning adventure as he seeks to protect his daughter Mika, voiced by the Moana voice, from ghosts of the ancient past and visions of a new future. Revolutionary cross-platform modding Fully stackable, user-created mods for new creatures, items, gameplay features, and maps are now distributed across all platforms, including onto Xbox, and support for modded servers enabled through officially modded support by Mod.io. So for a second, I would just want to talk about the modding. That was like one of the things that you've seen a lot in like the Ark YouTube community. Is you've seen a lot of mods on PC. There were like egg collectors. I didn't really dive into it because we're on Xbox, but I did see a lot of it, and it looks so super cool. So I think that if we can get some like really awesome mods, I can't wait to see what the community is going to make. I mean, it's something that we don't get on console. So if Ark 2 being supported by like a huge mod system, I think is going to be amazing, and it's only going to make the game better. Best in class third-person only gameplay, advanced character traversal mechanics like mantling, free climbing, parkour, sliding, and swinging. This is the one thing that has a lot of people kind of wondering what direction they're going in, is the third person. I don't know how that's going to work. I kind of love the idea of it a little bit. I think that it might be graphically a little bit easier to handle instead of first person. I don't know if that like makes sense. This is the one feature that has a lot of people kind of confused about the direction of this game. Not confused, but saying that it's different. It's very different, is that it's going to be third person. Now, I never played Ark in third person very much, other than when you're just flying. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think, going to be a deal breaker or anything like that. But then on top of it, you have Souls-like melee combat, target lock blocks, dodges, combos, staggers, special attacks, emphasizing player skill-based action. So with third person on top of Souls-like melee combat, it's looking like it's going to be a very different game when you see someone face to face. That's what it's telling me right now. Is that going to be better? I mean, any new addition to combat in Ark will be better, because Ark is like the most primitive, like hand-to-hand combat that you can get. Everyone's just stabbing at each other, hacking at each other. The shooting is wonk, right? Like, it's not very good. At least it's not good on console. I'm sure it's fine on PC, but then you have 90% of the people have a fucking an auto aim type deal. So massive new alien environment. Explore a mysterious, chaotic world where native flora and fauna are being overrun by invasive primeval creatures from an extinct Earth. So Earth's creatures are taking over an alien planet. Is that kind of, all I hope for is that it's not insane with alien creatures. That's all I hope for. I hope that it's kind of more on the original side of Ark. But component-based item crafting. Construct your weapons and tools from a range of distinct modules to customize their look and functionality. Millions of possible combinations enable you to craft your own unique gear. The specific materials you choose will further affect the appearance of your items, with multiple options of resources found in unique regions of the world. So it sounds like the crafting is going to be a lot more customizable, like they said, and it will change the look of the things that you craft depending on where you get those materials, which is pretty cool, man. I think that's awesome. Dynamic world events. Natural and unnatural occurrences are always happening across the game world. Independent of your presence, your choices in deciding whether to interact with these events will yield rewards or challenges. So obviously there's going to be some events that happen, and you can interact with them. Now, this is the one thing that I read earlier that I was kind of like iffy about. Opposing PvE force. Hostile Aratai hunt and attack you, riding their own tamed creatures as they seek to drive human interlopers from their world. So what this is kind of feeling like is it has a lot of Avatar vibes. You're on an alien planet. You have your own invasive species that's kind of taking over. You have an opposing force, who are attacking you, that have their own tamed creatures. So it's, yeah. Sensory-based creature AI. No omnipresent radar. Animals now track and hunt by sight, sound, and smell, hide from predators with visual camouflage and environmental obstructions, and learn to mask your scent. Dynamic pathfinding enables creatures to intelligently maneuver around obstacles and player-built structures. I don't know how that's going to work. It sounds crazy to me. This feature here seems like it's more on the hardcore survival side of things. I think it sounds amazing. It's good. If implemented really well, it's going to make the game a lot harder. So I am interested to see how this plays out. Character progression and skill system, gaining both experience points from gameplay and knowledge points by accomplishing key objectives and overcoming unique challenges to progress along a massive skill tree filled with new active abilities, perks, and passive benefits. That's awesome. Full utilization of Unreal Engine 5 technology. This is huge, I think, because from what I've seen from Unreal Engine 5 so far, it is awesome. See foliage react convincingly to passing wildlife, water flow downstream around obstacles, volumetric storm clouds, localized weather systems, smoke and particle effects, smoke and particles affected by physical forces, and much more. Fundamental advancements of lighting systems enable a more photorealistic day-night cycle, generating real-time ambient lighting and shadows within both natural and player-constructed environments. This is Unreal Engine 5, looks amazing. It sounds amazing. I played that Matrix thing where it was using Unreal Engine 5. That was amazing. Ark was made over 7 years ago. It's pretty primitive as far as the way that you interact with the world. It's it's a beautiful game, but like, as you all know, the light is blown out a lot of the time. Like, the way that the game looks is where that game needs a lot of improvements. I think that Unreal Engine 5 is going to be fucking incredible for Ark. I can't even imagine what this is going to be like. And because of things like this, it makes me that's why this is making me think it's going to be at the end of next year. So I think we're going to probably, I don't know, 16 to 18 months out from Ark 2. So I'm going to try and get through this quick. This is obviously a message from the founders. When we first released Ark Survival Evolved in 2015, we had no idea how big it would eventually become. It was beyond our wildest expectations that 7 years later we'd be developing an eons spanning a narrative across multiple games, a TV series, and starring none other than Vin Diesel as the key Ark hero, Santiago. And yet here we are, together with our wonderful players who have stuck by the Ark universe through thick, Ragnarok, and thin, Flyer nerf, now having a canvas far bigger than ever before. I'm so happy to see that Ark did well. We started playing it in 2015 when the game came out in early access on Xbox with all my friends. It was without a doubt the best gaming experience I've ever had in my life. All of my friends who were involved in the first wave of Ark players when we first started playing Ark on Xbox, even though most of them don't play it nearly as much as me and some of my other friends, when those questions come up of, if you could ever rediscover a game again, a game you've already played, what would that be? All my friends always say Ark. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about Ark and how absolutely incredible this game is. Yes, it's had problems. Yes, it's annoying. It's broken in many ways, but it's without a doubt one of the most fun, adventurous, amazing, beautiful games that you could play. From the very start, it was fun, and it's still fun now. It always kind of has found a way to be relevant, I think. When people started cheating in the game more and more and more until the point where it was completely broken, then everybody just started going to dedicated servers where people could keep a closer eye on that. And I never had problems with cheaters again. So Ark has evolved to deal with certain things, and a lot of the stuff that maybe some of the more things that we don't want in this game, some of the, I'm sure there's going to be things added into the game that people don't like. Luckily, with this new mod stuff and with the way that the Ark community is, we can kind of make our own path. And that's why I love Ark, is because you can really, they're making it so customizable that if there are things that we don't want, we can just push those aside and we can make our own path. We can make our own servers. We can make Ark in Ark 2 the way that we want it to be, and that's why Ark is such a beautiful game. So Ark 2's main narrative tells the story of a father and daughter, Mika, played by this girl, and betrayal and broken promises and the strength of the family bond. Of course, it's all about the family with Vin. It's a story of badass giant dinosaurs, but even more importantly, this is about the player's own stories. Like any good persistent world online survival game, survivors in Ark 2 each have their own unique path through the game as they form their own tribe, make their own friends, and attempt to build their own creature-aided civilizations. With Ark 2, we're seeking not only to enhance the game's narrative and world building, but also retouch and improve on all aspects of what constitutes an Ark game. So they are really changing a lot about Ark, and I'm here for it. Foremost among these redesigns are the core player mechanics. In the sequel, which is third person only, controls and movement for both players and creatures have been completely redesigned, taking inspiration from the game systems like Assassin's Creed's automatic parkour and Breath of the Wild's climbing. Player characters can now climb over the environment in a more realistic and freeform manner with a focus on primitive era combat. Santiago and Tech have complicated relationship. Ark 2 draws heavily from Souls-like action for its human-scaled combat, an emphasis on dodges, blocks, and light and heavy attacks, combos, and player reflex skill, a rarity for the PvP survival game. For creature skill combat, suffice it to say, for now, when you attack something with your T-Rex in Ark 2, the results are visceral. The animation of the attack actually hard impacts the target, not passing through it. The victim's flesh is torn, and the target physically reacts to the location to the hit, all to convey the feeling of raw power of such a ferocious creature. So that is amazing. The fact that when you actually, like, there's not going to be biting through physical objects anymore. So that's awesome. And the animals like reacting to where they get bit and torn flesh and everything. That sounds fucking awesome. I also want to make a little note there. If you ever like making an article or anything and you decide to put white text on a black background, fuck you. Don't ever fucking do that, because then every time you look away, it's the worst thing ever. Another area that we are particularly excited about is the world event system. Rather than simply having a more or less static environment with easily predictable or repetitive occurrences a la Ark 1, the new world event system is designed to ensure that unique things are always happening around the world, whether you are there or not. So they're always happening. Events include procedurally dynamic scenarios like watering hole gatherings, wounded creatures, tracking the signs of advanced prey, stampedes, herds, defending endangered creatures to earn their trust, finding dens of parent creatures and their young, and more. Whether you choose to engage with these events is up to you, and each can yield unique rewards and challenges, like we said before. There are too many other areas of fundamental change in Ark 2, whether it's the new opposing force Aratai, I don't know how to say it, who have their own tames, the new creature management and proper world map systems, and advanced component-based item crafting that enables players to choose exactly what their gear looks and functions like from millions of potential combinations, or the revamped build system, which provides innumerable more building options and enables saving and sharing the build of templates, which is amazing. Or well, there's just too much to go over here. You'll get your first preview of Ark 2 gameplay down the road, and we think you'll like what you see. Finally, saving perhaps the best for last, Ark 2 adds a revolutionary new feature for console players: fully stackable user-created mods, including the unofficial servers for the Xbox version of the game, enabled through official mod support by Mod.io. This means that players who create mods using the PC version will be able to upload them to the cloud and make them available for all console players to enjoy as well. With this, as we've seen with Ark 1 on PC, everything in the game can effectively be changed, improved, and redesigned. New creatures, new game types, new maps, new weapons and items, and mechanics. Yes, modders can re-add first-person mode. That's awesome. Yeah. With the power of Unreal Engine 5, the only limit will be the imagination of the content creators themselves. We're super stoked to witness the mind-blowing additions that players will no doubt create in their mods and maps, and we believe that having all such user-generated content playable on Ark 2 with complete cross-platform server integration is going to change the nature of the genre forever. To simply put, with Ark 2, our goal is to make the game that we all wanted Ark 1 to be, now that we've had the time, resources, and knowledge to do it right. So in 2023 on Xbox and PC Game Pass, we'll look forward to seeing all of you in this new world of primeval creatures and legendary heroes. Just keep an eye out for Vin. He likes to play on his Series X more than you might expect. Wow. So like I said, there actually is a lot here. We were severely let down by the Xbox showcase video. I was anyways. I still don't understand why they didn't just, I don't know, put some of this into a video, even just a talking head video from one of the devs or something would have been more exciting. I'm still glad it's here. I'm not like mad. I'm not like super mad about it. As you guys seen in the video of me reacting to it, I was pretty fucking pissed off, but there's a lot here. Third person, Ark 2, I think is going to be an amazing game. Everything here looks great. I love that the devs are trying to make the modders part of it. They're not afraid. They're not mad that someone else is adding something to their game, like a lot of other, like GTA, let's say. There's so much to go over here. I'm actually leaving to go on vacation for a week. This is going to be my last video for a couple of weeks. So I just wanted to go over this quick and just at least read it out to you guys. You know, there's so much here. The game modding, amazing. Third person gameplay. The fact that they said that they're doing like an Assassin's Creed type thing is awesome, because they also said down there that they wanted to make it a more hand-to-hand combat type game in some sense, which is amazing, because I think that Ark is severely lacking in the hand-to-hand combat gunplay of the game. It's rough. It's rough. It is super rough. See right here, they say, with a focus on primitive era combat, Santiago and tech have a complicated relationship. So I don't know what that means. I hope anyways, that tech is nowhere to be found in this game. I wasn't a big fan of tech. I think it's cool in the game now, but it takes too much. It really does take too much. So I'm not a huge fan of the tech. I hope that they go back to the original, Ark world. I think that they're going to recreate what happened. It's going to start as an original Ark. So what I'm interested to is to get your guys' reaction to all this Ark 2 news. Are you down with the third person? Are you down with the modding? Like, what do you want to see in Ark 2? It's going to be a while before we get any more information, I think, about Ark 2. It's probably going to be 6 to 8 months, I think, before we get anything else. So that's it for the video. It was pretty awesome. I'm stoked for Ark 2. Leave a like and subscribe if you got anything out of this video. It really helps me out. My name's Eli with Rage Review. Take care, guys.